Hey everybody, my name is Zach Simpkins with Hound Hogs Barbecue and Steak Team. Today we're going to do some pepper jelly ribs. Alright, so what we got today, we've got some all queued up steak shake, some all queued up go-to barbecue rub, the go-to barbecue rub, and some Kosmos Q honey chipotle killer bee. So what we want to do today is we're going to keep all the variables the same except for on two of these racks. We're going to put the steak shake on all three racks, and then on this rack right here in the middle, we're going to do the all queued up. And then on this rack over here, we're going to do Kosmos Q honey chipotle killer bee. And then once we get done cooking these, we're going to see if we can find out which one's which and which one's our favorite. Hey everybody, so what we have over here, I don't know if Blake wants to come over here and so you can see everything. So what we're doing over here, this is obviously not your standard rack of ribs, but we just cut up some of the rib tips, tossed them in some dry rubs, and we're going to cook those up and try to do something similar to burn ends here a little bit later. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring this, this is our Z grills. I guess we can kind of do a double video on this one. This is our Z grills. We did a review video on this a while back. We're going to run this thing at about 275 degrees, run for about 3.5–4 hours probably. We'll cook them until the bark sets. I like to be able to take my finger and rub it across the top of the ribs and nothing come off. Once that happens, then I know I'm ready to wrap. That'll probably take about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll go ahead and wrap them. When I wrap them, we'll show you that later, but I'll use stuff like brown sugar, honey, parquet, maybe some sauces, that kind of thing. And then with the rib tips, what we'll end up doing is once they get to temperature, we'll toss those in some different goodies, some goodness, and eat that probably a little bit earlier than we do the ribs. Alright, so it's been about 2 hours. We got our 3 racks of ribs in here. The bark's almost set on these things. We just went ahead and spritzed them one more time. I'm gonna let that spritz kind of soak in a little bit. And then we're gonna pull these things off here in just a minute, and then we'll get inside and show you guys how we wrap these ribs. The burn-in rib bite things that we're trying to play around with today, we went ahead, you'll see those, went ahead and tossed those in all kinds of goodness. We have brown sugar, parquet, we put a little bit of the all queued up, the go-to barbecue rub in there, as well as some Killer Hogs barbecue sauce. So we threw all that stuff in there, tossed it around a little bit, put it back on the smoker, and let that get nice and hot, let all that stuff kind of melt and render down and just sit there, let those rib bites kind of just sit there and kind of saute, I guess, in all that goodness. So let's get these things off, and then we'll show you guys what we're going to do inside. I ate one. It was pretty hot, so I didn't taste it all that much, but I'm gonna try another one, see what happens. Yep, they're good. So these things have been on for about 4 hours now. If you want to come take a look at them, all I did was after we wrapped them, probably after maybe the first 45 minutes to an hour, I crack them open every 30 minutes after that. If it was competition, that's pretty much how I do it. But I'm going to probe these right in between the bones just to see what the tenderness feels like, and these things are really tender right now. As far as competition goes, I won't know till I pull them out. They may be a little bit overcooked for competition, but they're going to be just right for what we're trying to do this evening. So we got our ribs pulled out of the wrap, made some little foil boats, and put the ribs in here. This is where they're going to sit while we baste them with our pepper jelly. So right over here we've got a mixture of Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce, mixed with some homemade pepper jelly by Blake's mom. I don't know what all is in there, but I can tell you that it by itself tastes pretty freaking good. So we mixed it with the barbecue sauce just so it can kind of go on a little bit better. And we're going to just baste these things over the top, glaze them. We'll probably do it 2 or 3 times. As the glaze sets, we'll probably add another layer. And then once it sets again, add another layer until we decide it's good.
Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and start sampling these. We're going to actually try to be as as objective as possible. We know which one's which, but we don't really have a preferred winner. So the first one we're starting with is, they're all seasoned with steak shake, but this one was just seasoned with steak shake, and then it's got the pepper jelly sauce on top of it. So let's go for it.
I know they're all going to taste good, but I'm wondering, like, will I actually be able to tell the difference between the rubs because of the pepper jelly?
Yeah. Well, that's been a theory of mine with competition barbecue. Is it really your sauce that's most important? I think it is.
Now, I used to think that the rub ended up being mostly just for a color, but even with the steak shake, the one that was seasoned just with steak shake, if you see you'll see the pictures of it or the videos of it. It's really light colored, and it kind of didn't look appealing to begin with. But after we put it into the wrap and we put the Hound Hogs, the barbecue sauce in there, it really took on some really good colors.
This is Killer Hogs, not Hound Hogs.
Did I say Hound Hogs?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yep. So. All right. So that was, the first one was just steak shake from All Queued Up. That was good. That was really good.
No. Depends on the palate.
So let's go ahead for number two. Number two is steak shake and go-to barbecue rub.
I think I'm gonna go with this side.
I think I taste the rub.
Yeah.
I don't just taste the sauce.
Right, right. I feel like I'm gonna be tasting this pepper jelly in my mustache for the next 2 weeks.
Mom, your pepper jelly was good. Shout out, Mom, if she even watches this. It's gonna be my test.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not say anything, and I'm gonna see if she watches my YouTube videos. All right, sorry, I had to finish mine.
Yeah.
You didn't have any thoughts on that one?
No, you pretty much hit it on the head. I mean, I could definitely taste the difference in the rub. I wouldn't say definitely. There was a noticeable difference. It's not something where I could sit here and say like, this is a specific rub on that rib, but I could taste a noticeable difference.
All right, guys. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Which would you say, A or B? Right now.
Oh, I would say definitely B.
Okay, I would too. That is John Lindsay's all queued up go-to barbecue rub in conjunction with his steak shake AP rub. So now it's time for rib number 3. This rib has the Kosmos Q honey chipotle killer bee on it, which honestly is very similar to the go-to barbecue rub. It just, that one seems to have more emphasis on the chipotle side of it, or the kind of the smoky flavor. This one's got a little bit more back-end heat. And actually it turned out a good bit darker than the other 2 ribs, right?
Man, that pepper jelly, I feel like it's all over my face.
It's good. It's definitely sticky.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like I've got some pretty serious like hair gel going on in my mustache. I mean, that's a recipe that's, you know, similar to what, you know, we've used before. Great recipe. Like, it tastes really, really good. It's hard to say, like, one rib over the other. I was pretty impressed by the go-to barbecue rub. I'm a huge fan of the Kosmos Q honey chipotle killer bee. And then Blake let me actually try this today. It kind of blew me away. It was really, really good.
I don't know what it was. The third rib was definitely more done than the other 2. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that one just didn't have as clean of flavors to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like, something tasted off with it. It may have been something we've done. We know this turns out good product. I don't know. What would you say? A, B, or C?
I'm going to have to say, you know, I'm still eating all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say B. I agree. I think the flavor profile was definitely like there. I definitely want to try and incorporate that with a lot of like some of the other more competition style stuff that we do. But start incorporating that in there.
Yeah, and actually I was commenting with John Lindsay the other day on Facebook, and he said the secret is that's supposed to be their best rub, even though it's probably not their most popular because they're so big on the steak scene. So I think that pretty much sums it up, guys. For us today, guys, we're not talking bad about honey chipotle killer bee whatsoever.
No.
We've done well with it. It's cooked a lot of food for us, and we'll still continue to, because we still have a couple 2-pound bags of it. But that go-to barbecue rub for us today, I think, is just going to bring out a little bit more of the flavors that we've been looking for, which is why we wanted to do this test today. So the pepper jelly was awesome, and it's so good.
Yeah.
It's got like just a little bit of heat, but it shouldn't burn anybody up, no matter how sensitive you are.
Yeah.
But you got a good pepper flavor. So that's pretty much it for us today, guys. We're going to probably here soon do a review, a follow-up review of the Z-Grills, and let you guys know how that's been cooking. We've definitely got some thoughts on that. But other than that, that's it for us, right? Anything else? All right, guys, y'all go out and cook something new.